Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, a model and a movie, episode 1.
Uno.
Brian Clark, my co-host for Model and a Movie. How are you, sir?
My man, I'm good. You?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful teaching week. I think
Yeah,
for
we were
both.
talking about it before we started.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Oh, what is happening?
It's the post Christmas break, man. Everybody's, you know, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So we just what is this show and what it's going to be. We noticed, on the regular show on Model Club TV, which is still happening, Scott doesn't build a lot. Scott doesn't allow to watch movies, and I wanted to do a kind of a show that's sort of a spin-off of the Workbench mixed with movie talk. So each one of these episodes, we're going to watch a movie and we're going to talk about it. A lot of times while we build movies or while we build models, and then also, while we talk about some models. So with that premise, today's movie is Willy's Wonderland. Something I had watched and talked about on the show before, but of course Scott didn't watch it, so I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. And so we'll get into that after we kind of show what we're working on as part of our Workbench, and then we'll get right into that movie talk. So, Brian, model-wise, what are you working on these days?
Oh, I have 1, 2, 3. I'm still working on my man here, Fluke man. Still
Okay.
The blue washes are going, and then I want to put a little light pink splotches on him again, and then probably put another coat of blue on him. And then I have Frankenstein's flivver going on, and I'm not a big changer of kits. Like, it might be my OCD. I don't know what it is, but when it comes in a box, I put it on the kit. It's weird. I don't know why. But I hate the fact that he has a yo-yo. Why would he have a yo-yo? It's so stupid. So I was sitting here looking, and I was like, I don't want to put that yo-yo on there. And it was really bothering me because A, the OCD was telling me put it on there, but B, my brain was saying I'm not going to want that on my shelf. So I came up with a different plan, and I don't want to say what it is yet. I'll show you once I get it done.
Okay.
But
a hot dog, turn his wrist, put a hot dog in a cheeseburger.
No, it's a Frankenstein kind of thing.
Okay.
It was in another kit that I made that was like an extra piece that I could have used or not, and I chose not to use it. And so I think it's going to be cool. And I told my daughter, who's my sounding board, what I was going to do, and she's like, "That's cool, Dad. Go with this."
All right, that totally works.
Then I started the Starlight.
Oh, nice. Okay, the Starlight projects.
Got it primed and a little sanded, and I'm working on just the blood on the side before I start the thing. So I've got a few things going on.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
We're gonna paint that to make it look like it's a science display. You know those cutaways where I used to always pull the organs out and play with them in the library because it was. And carry the liver around. Oh man,
little plastic livers and stuff. No, I'm not going to do that only because I'm not as talented as you. And
well, that would be easier than trying to make it look real. Probably just do all flat colors, put a little like kind of gloss on there. You could even like pin little diagrams.
Well, who's going to make that? Are you going to make the diagrams for me there?
You could type and print. I don't know.
I'm not going to do that. So, no, but I mean, again, this is the thing. It came with, I don't know. I'm weird in a lot of ways with that kind of stuff, but
yeah,
the flivver, the Starlight. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but when I saw it there, it was cool at Wonderfest and Luke, man. And I got a couple more things that I'm going to get ready to wash and get ready to start. So
cool.
You?
I am working on a couple things. I've had this printed for a year, and I printed it for my friend's birthday. And I was like, here, I printed this for you. And that was a year ago. And so now his birthday just passed again, my friend Jim. So this is for my friend Jim, big G.I. Joe fan. And I started painting it finally, which is Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. So, and then it goes, let me kind of get it into the base the right way and then hold it up. So it goes like this, right? And there's like snow. I've been working on the base, and it comes with the wolf as well. So I'm working on that part, is like getting it going. My problem is sometimes I'm noticing with 3D prints bases, especially, they're soft. And what I mean, like, they're not as crisp in detail, and everything kind of looks samey. And so to try and pick out details to make it look more like rocks than like a pile of mud. And normally as we get more into these episodes, I'm going to pull down the overhead cam when we talk and work, but it's hard to make this look good. The log that sticks out, and I know this is impossible to see on this camera. There's a log that sticks out, and the texture and detail on that is great. The detail's there, but it just seems like it's all kind of
Well,
like if it melted for 10 seconds. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like it
no,
all kind of mushes together instead of being crisp.
well, why don't you, instead of going with like the brown rock or whatever, go with gray? And I know that that's a
I was thinking that because I was trying to base it off of a certain kind of rock. And I started to do that. I went and started picking out individual rocks and painting them more gray. And part of that is I didn't want the log to get lost in there, which it still kind of does, even though it's gray. And my other problem is snow. Snow sucks to try and make it look like snow. So I did a blue, like a white. I painted it white, and then I used a new color from in the new contrast line from Games Workshop called Briar Queen Chill, and it did a great job of putting that and I really thinned it out. It did a great job of making the snow have that kind of blue undertone to it. 'Cause you know, when you look at snow, it doesn't like it's just not white. There's the way it catches light and shadow is different. And then I was at a game, Grognard's game.
my snow is always yellow because of my dog.
But I picked these up to give it a try. It's from AK Interactive or AK Snow Sprinkles, and then Ice Sparkles to maybe throw on there to try and break up that texture to give it a little bit more realism to it. So I've never used those before. Have you?
A favor, because I was going to buy some of that stuff, and there's something else I was going to get. I saw it. Was it at my hobby shop that I go to? There's a Michael's and a local hobby shop, Ben Franklin, that I go to, and he has a lot of train stuff, and I think it might have been there. But anyhow, because I have the McReady and I have all those thing kits from Paul, and bases all if I'm not all of them, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of the bases have a snow style base, and that's what I was going to use for that. And that the AK stuff that you just held up there was something I was thinking about buying. So you got to let us know how
I will
that
let
is.
you know as it comes in. That's right. It goes like this. The wolf kind of sits behind him and then is on the base.
That's cool.
It's a cool piece. Other than that, still working on my dugouts. Oh, wait, here's the Cobra helmet that goes on the base too.
Oh, it's all beat up. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like his head's chopped off. Still working on my dugouts for Blood Bowl, which is
of course you are.
Pain in my existence, but they're gonna get done. And then I'm working on my Skaven team on and off, my Ratmen football team. The should I tell the name of my Blood Bowl team?
I don't know it, so I don't.
So they're Ratmen. For people who are in the not Games Workshop fans, Skaven are rat people basically, and the team name is the Back Alley Nibblers.
Did you come up with that name yourself, or is
that's
that
mine? I made it up.
Alley Nibblers. That says a lot.
Yeah, no one can steal that. I don't want to see that on any of the games. That's my name for my team. So
gone with the meat face puppets or something, I guess.
So that's what I'm working on over here. I did. I printed another brush holder. Kind of working on the bench a little bit, but did you buy anything else? You got some other stuff you want to talk about before we jump in to Willy's Wonderland?
Willy's Wonderland. So if you're during one of my special appearances on Model Club, I talked about that sprue separator.
Yeah.
And it was busted.
Yeah.
And so I tried to pull the piece out. I was just going to reglue it, but couldn't do it. So I went to reorder it. They didn't have that one. So I got a different one. And I think it's better. I don't know if you could, let me pull it back here. It's one piece. and it is rock solid. I really like this one better. It was
So
on Amazon.
I think I bought the one you were looking for. I got it in the mail the other day. I ordered. I keep forgetting to talk about it. So that one might be better. It's got an angle to it.
Yeah, it's of course. Well, I don't really have any sprues. It's supposed to be like more. I don't know. I don't. Of course, I get an odd shape thing, but it's supposed to hold. It does. It's supposed to grab onto it for if it's bigger. It's supposed to work better with the angle. I don't know how. I don't know why. This sounds like physics. I don't deal with that. And then picked up some of these because I'm always painting my fingers, and I figured I've never had these before. I got 2 of them. I have been teaching. I have a film as literature class.
Okay.
I did Dracula and Nosferatu. Those were the first 2 films of the 9 weeks. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to blow your minds, you silly 18 and 16, 17 year olds. And I showed up 2001 A Space Odyssey, and I was motivated to get the HAL from Mobius. Not a complicated kit at all. It's only like 10 pieces or something, but
I didn't even know they made that.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Well, hey.
Can you light that? Is it lightable? Like,
comes with a light system in it.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Little battery operated. It looks like a 9-volt LED. And it's, whoops, I just did a Jason. I'm already on the show. Dropped it. It's really not a super complicated kit.
Yeah.
I don't know which way would it go. This way.
Yeah.
So
oh wow.
It's that clear piece for the ball, which I will probably red spray.
Yeah, on the inside, with some clear something. Clear red.
And then there's this stuff. And not a lot. And
that's cool.
I also have the Discovery and the big expensive what is that big ball thing? I don't even know where I have it.
The big ball thing.
The landing pod.
Oh, okay.
And I know they have some more coming out. This is a movie that was always on TV when I was a kid growing up, and I would watch it and I get bored and I hated it. And as I've gotten older, I love it. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites, man. And then finally, my man from The Thing, Norris.
That's put it next to your head. Like, back it up. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna. That's cool.
And then there's a little creature monstery head thing.
Yes.
Up, but yeah, these are big size, man. These are not small. This is a great scene. I love it when they're doing CPR. Eats his hands. Oh, I love it.
Really good.
So I got some stuff ordered that's not here yet. A couple things, and so that we'll save that for episode 2 if that ever happens.
All right, I think it will happen. Let's get into Willy's Wonderland. So for these episodes, for everyone watching at home, we're going to try and keep these short. These are not going to be Model Club TV length episodes, and this first one's probably going to be a little longer as we kind of get it figured out. We want to kind of keep these between 30 and 45 minutes. So it's quick, easy movie review. As we've mentioned before, Brian and I are both teachers. He's an English teacher. I'm an art teacher. There's no math anywhere in this room. So our system, it's not a thumbs up, thumbs down. It's going to be letter graded system on these movies. And I was thinking before we talk about the movie, we secretly write down or have it ready. So you can just hold it up at the end, what your grade is for the movie. So we don't change our opinion based on what each of us said. Or can we just this time agree to not change our name or change our vote? Okay.
I will not. In fact, I have a thing in my head that I had since you told me about this. Yes, you're like, this was your idea yesterday. I was like, this is awesome. And I knew what my grade was right away.
Okay.
So I did not change it. Plus,
okay,
that would have been nice if you told me that 15 minutes ago.
Well, I didn't even, or we could even, and like, this is a morphing thing. Maybe we could do a report card and come up with different suggestions below would be great as well. You know how you have to leave comments on the report card grade?
Yeah.
We
could do that. We could have like different
well, yeah, as this show evolves, we'll work on some of that stuff. And then
Family
I think
friendly.
even more important than the grade of the movie will be, is it kit worthy? Are there kits available that someone could make from this movie to tie it back to modeling and garage kits? So is there a kit that's possible in this movie or something we'd like to see come out of the movie, which would come after our scoring system? So Willy's Wonderland. Let's get into it. What did you think?
So this was my choice, by the way, because you said, "Hey,
this was your choice."
My choice. It was in my list on Hulu for a while, and I was like, you know what? I want to go weird because it's Nick Cage, and he never disappoints. And I was not disappointed. I laughed and I enjoyed every freaking minute of this movie. I mean, seriously, it's a perfect the dog. It's a perfect combination of terror, gore, and just what the heck is that?
So, and I completely agree. I had seen it already. So when you said I went and it was over, like right when it came out, I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna rewatch this just so I can be fresh on it and stuff. So I took notes. So I'm like, I'm gonna start doing that just because I'm getting old and I forget everything.
And I'm not going to, because you told me you would.
But my notes might be better. They're worse than yours. So, it was directed by Kevin Lewis. Emily Tosh is the female protagonist, and Nick Cage is Nick Cage in this movie. and very Nick Cage, to the point where he doesn't have one line in the entire movie. Not one. Did you know that going in?
I did not. He grunts at one point towards the end.
There is a couple grunts, but there's not an uttered word from Nick Cage in the entire movie, which I think is amazing. Yes. Like, just amazing that they pulled that off. Because if you were to pull, like, we're going to have Nick Cage in our movie, he's not going to say a word. And they'll be like, you can't do that. But they let them do that, which I think is really cool.
He was still cagey.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. He was still like, there was stuff in there. Are we gonna do spoilers?
Oh yeah. So that's the other thing. We'll do it now. Every single one of these episodes are going to be spoiler filled. We're going to talk about the movie as if you saw it. So if you have not seen Willy's Wonderland, stop this, go watch it, and come back and watch this. Spoilers.
So the pinball, when he's playing pinball, he is. I don't know if he likes pinball and he was like, listen, I want pinball in this, or if he was just acting that he loves pinball. That was freaking awesome. I don't know why.
His dance that he does when he's playing pinball, dude, it was fantastic. And like, even the art side of me, there's a lot of cool artwork stuff in this. Like, they made a pinball machine that's a Willy's Wonderland pinball machine. And the painting in the background, and I'm sure they kind of faked it they probably just, edited stuff in. But I want a Willy's Wonderland pinball machine.
I thought the same thing.
Dude, how can someone has to do that? Someone has to do that.
I was sitting there going, if I were to get one, every time I hit it, I'd have to go. I'd have to do the dance and spin around. And
so, all right, hold on. I think in my notes is after everything down, like my first thing of the main two actors, who the director is, the first thing I wrote is Punch Pop.
What was that?
So I don't know. And that's what makes this movie so good. So the entire movie. So let's do the premise first. All right.
Sure.
It is a cult is basically, and they even say it in there, the cult of Willy, like with the sheriff running this. They're basically they're trapping people and feeding them to possessed animatronic characters at a Showbiz Pizza type place, or at a Chuck E. Cheese type place. And Nick Cage in the beginning of the movie, I don't know, I have to go back and look at what his character's name is. Did that ever? Let me pull up on this screen IMDb.
I don't know if they even said it. Yeah,
I don't know if they ever even said his character's name. All right, I'm checking IMDb.
All right, yeah, check IMDb. And while you're doing that, I will repeat what I was saying before you messed up.
For some reason, the W key switches the screen.
So,
okay, so I got it. His character's name, Nick Cage's character's name, is the janitor, according to
Perfect. Perfect name. Perfect name. And I'm going to tell you, I want a sequel from this movie. I do.
We'll talk about that because I agree with you 100%.
He's driving down the street. He has a real nice, I think it was dark green Mustang, and he hits the tire pops that police have, and he's just sitting there and waiting. It's like a whole day, I think. He's just sitting there by the side of the road drinking pop, waiting. Punch pop. And the guy finally shows up. He takes him to the garage and is like, hey, it's gonna be, what was it, like $800?
It's like $1,000 is what he basically told him. Yeah.
He's like, but no, I don't accept any credit cards, cash only. Because of course Nicolas Cage doesn't say anything. He just pulls out his credit card and holds it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you can work it off. I got a friend who's got a place, and you can work it off. We'll clean it up this night, and we'll call it even in the morning. You'll be ready to go. And then they take him to Willy's Wonderland. You can take it from there. Go on.
And so the backstory is the mechanical characters were possessed by serial killers that somehow all managed to work at this place. And when they were killed, their spirits went into these things. And so the sheriff, in order to save the town and keep the town safe, they promised to feed people to these animatronic characters. So they trap people, and the sheriff's in on it. The mechanic, the tow truck driver's in on it. The owner of Willy's Wonderland is in on it. And they're just feeding people over time. And then the female, who is, her character's name is Liv, and it's Emily Tosta. I hope I'm saying that right. Tosta or Tosta? I think it's Tosta. Gorgeous, by the way. Let's just to be that guy, but holy crap, gorgeous. She was the daughter of a couple that was apparently murdered by Willy's and them, and they found her hiding in a closet, and then the sheriff has kind of raised her as her own daughter, and she keeps trying to burn the place down. And so that's the premise. And so Nick Cage spends the entire movie fighting animatronic monster characters, and it is amazing.
It is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. No, right. I'm serious. It was entertaining the entire time.
It is. It's straight. And my other, like, going back to my notes, it feels very Evil Dead 2-y, like 2-ish. Yes. Like, it's got that like extreme gore, but it's not blood. It's like black goo that comes out of the monsters when he kills. Right? And so he gets them like covered head to toe in the blood goo stuff, and then keeps changing his shirt, cleaning up. And he has his alarm set.
He gets another Willy's Wonderland shirt. He shakes it out, puts it on, and next thing you know, he's back clean. It's hilarious.
And he's cleaning. He is very serious about his job. No one's going to stop him from cleaning the place. And it's so well done, and I think it fits with my personal taste of absurd. Like, when I like funny stuff, I like things that are absurd and so stupid that that's what makes it amazing. And this is just like everyone else in the history of being fed to Willy and his bunch of other characters can't seem to do what Nick Cage does, the janitor. He just boxes them and rips their heads off, and everyone else is shocked that he even like them. And the creatures are scared of him at some point, and it's just wow.
They don't ever explain why he's such a badass.
No, they don't. And that's coming up here in a second. The tow truck driver, I really like. I always thought that was a cigar in his mouth until the end. It's a piece of beef jerky, a beef stick that he's chewing on the entire time. And I really like, and I'll probably get some screenshots as we go, but it's a great world building movie. Like, there's so many little details, which brings me back to, so Nick Cage, he sets his alarm to drink a can of, he brings his 6-pack of Punch Pop, puts it in the refrigerator, and starts cleaning. He has his alarm set for a break to drink his can of punch and then play pinball on the pinball machine. So, like, I want to know what Punch Pop is. What's the deal with Punch Pop? You have this whole little, like, it reminded me a little bit of Cloverfield, where they have like the slusho, like in the back, like there's little like things like consumer items that they have kind of tucked in there. Like even the Willy's Wonderland t-shirt, they've made the shirt. Everyone's like, someone has to sell those shirts.
Well, the pop thing, you know what it kind of reminded me of? Like as I was watching, I'm going, that's his spinach.
Yes.
That's what I thought. It's a spinach.
Yeah.
Because it's like because he'll be fighting one of the animatronics and he'll go beep 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 beep. He'll look, he'll be like, and he just walks away. Starts like this thing is killing other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
He's just drinking pop, playing pinball, and then he finishes his pop, throws it down like 10 minutes.
Yep.
He's done. And he goes back and he finishes.
Uses
like,
the can just like Popeye. Actually, that's brilliant. The tow truck driver is quote, "Ain't that a dilly of a pickle?" Really made me chuckle when he said it. And then so halfway through, while he's first locked in there, and he, dispatches some of these guys, a group of teenagers with Emily, Liv, the character Liv they get inside. They're trying to burn the place down and kill all these things on a revenge plot, and they're picked off one by one. So you have your typical kind of like these teenagers getting killed. But the untypical thing is there's two black guys, and they weren't the first ones murdered either. So that was a nice swerve because you're like, oh, the black guy's going to get killed first. Didn't happen, which was great.
That first kill was pretty cool too. Coming from behind, like jamming like the animatronic hand right through him and everything. That was cool.
The sword. You get the sword through the one guy.
Oh, it was a sword. You're right.
Yeah.
The sword.
So the characters, there's an ostrich. That's the first one that he ends up fighting. He fights the ostrich. Yeah. Just Nick Cage, and which also reminded me a lot of Evil Dead. It reminded me of Henrietta. When Henrietta gets the gooseneck Henrietta, it was very like, it was shot the same way, kind of how that like, and he even said, "I'm going to feast on your face instead of I'm going to swallow your soul." It was, "I'm going to feast on your face." So it's an obvious kind of just, here's what we're kind of doing. So if you're a fan of Evil Dead 2, this movie is definitely for you. The duct tape Band-Aid, such a manly thing. Dude, he gets cut on his cheek, duct tape on the cheek. What was your favorite kill in the whole movie? If you can pin it down.
What the one where he took the two broomsticks, like he broke it in half and was like a ninja. He just like that was ridiculously hilarious.
Yes.
Like number one, how can he do that? Why? And number two, like why hasn't anyone else just like killed these? Right. He just whooped them. Like it's hilarious.
I love the toilet curb stomp with the gorilla. So they pull the curb stomp. He makes the big animatronic gorilla bite the edge of a urinal, and he stomps the back of his head. Bloodiest thing in the world, and it's like the second one, because that's the second fight in the movie. And then I'm like, all right, I'm in. This is going to be great. It all slowly progresses. He ends up fighting all these characters up until
6.
Yeah. There's the Tinkerbell, the turtle with the Mexican mustache and sombrero, which fast forward to when Liv is fighting the turtle in the street and she's beating him in the balls. He's in Spanish, like, "Oh, my nuts," or something. It's just,
dude, it's so stupid.
It's so stupid. And that's what I mean. It's so absurd and ridiculous that it makes it just amazing. The creepy Tinkerbell, the knight, the alligator, the gorilla, Willy, which is a weasel, and what am I missing? Ostrich.
So there might have been.
Oh, the chameleon, the chameleon one, where she can shoot her tongue out and snap a person's neck with their tongue. There's child death in this movie, which is rare. They show the kids get killed by these serial killers in the restaurant for a minute.
Yeah, that was really the darkest thing of the whole movie. Even you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was. It stood out quite a bit.
Yeah, because it everything's played earnestly. Everything is very like, oh, this is like it could really happen type thing. And the fact that they threw that in there, that these child molesting killers were in there and running a Chuck E. Cheese based type place was horrifying.
Yeah,
because why wouldn't they? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why wouldn't they run a place like that? Of course they would. So, and then when they were getting caught, what you said, they end up possessing machines. They did a cult. They were part of a cult, and they did a satanic killing ritual so that they could take over the machines and be there for each other. And anytime someone in the town goes against them, the machines somehow get out of Willy's Wonderland, walk around town, kill those people, and come back. So it's ridiculous.
I think the actress Beth Grant plays Sheriff Lund. She's fantastic in this. She was really good. When my favorite quote from her: "Shut your mouth, smart guy. You're not funny." When she just says that to the deputy as they're sitting there,
Right.
I was like, "Oh,
State.
yeah." Oh, the other really good kill was Nick Cage basically King Kong's the alligator, where he takes the alligator and does his mouth just like King Kong does to the T-Rex, and just fantastic nod to that as well. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I think the music plays a great part in this. That song, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes comes on when he starts fighting one of the guys, and there's some original songs in here too. And then I think at the end, I was so shocked to hear the song Freebird, like straight up the song Freebird by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Which was like, first of all, that costs a lot of money, I'm sure. I don't know how much they spent on that, but it fit perfectly with what was happening because he's free now. He defeated everybody.
Well, like when he walks out, well, the police are mad, the sheriff, because he keeps killing stuff.
Yeah.
And then find out that the daughter that she's raising is in there, and she's trapped in there with her friends. So that's why the sheriff gets involved, because she's part of the cult, and she apologizes she kidnapped or has Nicolas Cage handcuffed as just like, you're going to die. It's over. And he's still. So I don't know how he got his hand. I missed how he got his hands free from the handcuffs. But somehow
he just broke them. He just, Brian, at one point, just goes and snapped it.
Yeah, okay. All right. I thought there was something to it. Yeah. And he goes and kills. And then he's nonchalantly afterwards, every time he kills one of these creatures, puts him in a garbage bag because he's supposed to clean the place, walks him out, puts it over his shoulder, walks out to the trash can, throws it in there, walks back in.
Yep.
And the sheriff is sitting there. She's like, son of a. She's all off. And he just doesn't care. He just goes back in, starts cleaning.
Yep. She met her end really. Was that like they cut her right?
Yeah.
I just the director. Looking at things he's directed before, it says there's only like 9 things.
Holy.
It's not like his big. See if you've seen any of these movies, because I have not. The Method, Andrew Jackson White Elk, Downward Angel, Malibu Spring Break, Breakheart, The Drop, The Third Nail, Willy's Wonderland, and The Accursed. Not like
The Accursed sounds familiar, and Malibu Spring Break I think is a comedy.
So the strange thing is,
but
before Willy's Wonderland, the last movie that he did was 2007.
Wow.
And so it was a long sit. And now The Accursed, it looks like came out this year. That actually looks good. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to check that out. So The Accursed. Yeah. Before we keep going on this, have you kept up with any of the other like Nick Cage revival movies? Have you seen any of the other recent ones that he's been in?
I put all of them on my list whenever it's on Prime, Hulu, whatever. I always put Nick Cage in there. And I'll watch one. I have recorded on my DVR upstairs the unbearable weight of an enormous talent or whatever, where he plays himself. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched that either.
I have it ready to go, and my daughter wants to watch it too, so I'm kind of holding on to that one until she comes home for a weekend. But
it's the unbearable weight of massive talent.
I had it yet. He plays himself, and he's like broke, and he's got to go to do like a birthday party for someone, and I think Pedro Pascal is with him, right?
Yeah,
isn't it Pedro? Yeah, it looks fantastic. I can't wait. I mean, Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage characters from Nicolas Cage. I'm in. So
you did see Pig.
Yeah.
So we talked about Pig on the show for a minute, and I recommended it to Brian. Pig's great. It's really, really good. The way I described it on the show before, it's basically John Wick, but he kills with words and kindness. And it's a great sign. It's not what I expected going in, and I really like Pig. Mandy is fantastic. So when you get a chance to see Mandy, the only like Color Out of Space is one of my favorite H.P. Lovecraft stories. And then he did they just redid that as well with Richard Stanley as director, who did who did Dust Devil and The Island of Dr. Moreau redo, and who did Hardware. So if you've never seen any of those,
Island of Dr. Moreau is a train wreck.
it was. But the best thing about that is to watch the documentary about the making of that. It's amazing. But Richard Stanley, I love as a director, and Color Out of Space was really good. The only thing I didn't like was Nick Cage, because he played Nick Cage in that instead, where I wanted someone to be like, he was over the top Nick Cage in there, and I wanted it to be like, if he would have just played it straight, it would have been, I don't want to ruin that movie. I want people to watch it because it's shot really well and really good. I just wish Nick Cage would have knocked it down to like a 3 instead of his normal 10 Nick Cage. And then Prisoners of Ghostland is another Nick Cage. That movie just came out, and I did not like that. It was not, there were some cool visuals in it, but it didn't work for me. But this does. Willy's Wonderland, I think, is really good. So any other highlights? Anything else you like?
The fact that, the Liv leaves the sombrero wearing whatever he is out on the street. She just walks
Turtle with the little mustache. Yep.
So there is Turtle. Walks back to and finds the janitor just kind of standing there, and all he wants is his car back. He doesn't even fight the guy who's messing with his car. We're acting like, oh, he's dead. We get his car and all that, and he goes, and all he does is hold out his hand.
Yep.
The guy is in there. They walk in. Tex and the junkyard guy walk in, and it's completely clean. Everything, like, son of a, maybe it's finally over. We're done. He did it, and so they jump in. Nicolas Cage and Liv, she just looks at him, and he gets in his car, and she assumes, okay, I can get in. He lets her in, and they just drive away. And the Tex and the wrecker guy, they get in to Tex's car. They're going to go to, I think, get breakfast, right? Go get grits or something.
Mm-hmm.
They said. And one of the is it the
Tinkerbell?
Which? The Tinkerbell. She comes off blows them all up.
Which I thought her character was really, I think, like that Tinkerbell was done well. I couldn't tell if it was a person wearing a person suit, like, because her skin looked weird. Like, it almost like a person wearing a rubber suit just over themselves that was a slightly different, but then they just stuck a weird head on it.
Yeah, it was freaky.
It was freaky.
The one thing. If you're afraid of like the people in costumes, this is not the movie.
Yeah, no. If you have a furry aversion, this is not for you. If you really like furries, this might be for you.
And then as they're driving away, Liv and janitor, sombrero guy's in the middle of the road, and he just runs right over him. And that's it.
It just does, and that's what I mean, like, absurd. There's just this turtle guy walking down the middle of the road. Oh man, it's really well done. I think people should like check it out. Definitely, it makes you smile. It totally does. It is a great, just watch a movie, crack a beer, and laugh, eat some popcorn.
I don't even drink beer, and I agree with you.
Yeah, it is not one of those movies that makes you think hard. It is not one of those movies that's going to leave you like, oh, that was really cool. Like, it is just a straightforward, this is a ridiculous, great movie. Good time. Very much like Evil Dead 2.
Yes, very much. I agree.
And then, so you mentioned sequel. What thoughts?
I mean, now you've got Liv and the janitor on the road together.
Yes.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, who knows what you could do? You could have them go to like a working for a circus. You can have them go into like a Cedar Point type place. You know what Cedar Point is? I don't know.
Yep.
Like,
yes, Mr. Ohio.
I don't know, man. I haven't been there since 1992.
I've never been there, but I know what it is.
Yeah, it's if you've ever been on a roller coaster, it's like that.
It's like that.
So,
but I agree. They need to do a sequel to this where they just get in adventures and stop demon possessed stuff or ghosts or monsters or whatever. Just a buddy. They're like, they have to. They have
Yeah.
to. I really hope they make a sequel to this.
It could be like a Scooby-Doo gang where
Yes,
they just go down and stuff happens and
and
they.
slowly pick up members to their group of like. Oh, it
But
would be
then
cool.
you almost would have to because she was funny because she was sarcastic towards
Yeah.
him. Like she's like, "We're here to get you out of here to save you. You got to get out of here." This and he's just like, and walks away.
Yeah,
Just go drink
yeah.
pop.
And he can
It's just like,
still never say a word in any of the movies coming. Like if they do a sequel, he can't talk. Like they have to stick with that. They have to.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
He was
All
fun.
right.
Fantastic.
What's your grade?
I give it an A minus. I give it an A minus.
A minus.
I was going to give it. I was completely entertained.
A minus. I also am giving it an A minus. Look at that.
Well,
And
first
I
episode.
Yeah, first episode, 2 A minuses. I'm there's some things like I don't think it's in the B territory. Maybe B plus, A minus. A minus I think fits right. I don't want it to make it look like we're gonna like everything because that is not go. So it's kind of weird. We're both starting off with an A movie, but it fits. It fits both of our like I think what we like, and it's kind of good. All right. As far as kit potential in the movie, what do you think? If you could make one kit from this movie, what would it be? Or even a couple? What would capture the essence of this?
What I thought would be cool, and this is, it would probably, you could do more than one. And what popped into my mind when you said, "Hey, think about this," those mini dioramas that George is doing with Blackheart?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have him at the pinball machine in the back room playing the pinball. You could have the stage with the characters up on the stage. You could have the kids in front of the stage. You could have like all the different rooms or something, because there's a bunch of. You can have like little mini dioramas.
Almost like make a little play set.
Yeah. Because that's what the movie is. And you can actually have Nick Cage in all of them if you wanted, like his character like playing pinball, his character stomping him on the toilet, his character, that's what I could see being fun.
What I was thinking is like taking that Evil Dead 2 poster where he's standing there, or no, Army of Darkness, I think it is, where your typical where your typical male action hero where the girl's like on the leg and then they're like fight. So that's what kind of like I want it to be like him standing on a pile of dead animatronic guys. And he's holding up Willy's head. Liv is like on his leg with her shirt torn. Like that classic kind of just like movie poster style. And he's just got his can of Punch Pop in one hand or like a holster of them down his chest. Like something that just kind of grabs all of it. I think like just the characters themselves, like the Groovy Ghoulie style that Well was doing with those things. Like just here's that dumb Willy. Here's the. I don't think there's a big audience for it at all. Like I don't think a lot of people would buy those, but
I would. I would in a second.
People like us would, and it is totally a Gen X thing probably. But
it would be so like it'd be even if you jack up the paint job, it would still be fun to do and to have like look over there and be like, I know what that is. That's fun.
Yeah. There's the final fight between him and Willy. There's some potential there too, because he whooped his ass. Willy whooped his ass for a minute. Like he's got these giant oversized paws, and it's everybody watch Willy's Wonderland. It is worth your time. Definitely worth your time.
The only problem I have with your model is that Liv is not your weekend save me type girl.
She's not.
And that's why I would only have a problem with that. But
he did have to save her after he handed her the knife.
Oh, but okay. That's because his beeper went off and he had to go drink his pop. He left her there and just went and drank pop, and that's when he was doing his dance. Yeah,
having in the background like standing doesn't have to be, but just that typical, you know what I mean, something like that. All right, so that's how this is kind of this show is going to kind of go. Brian had a great idea about the next movie. Want to tell everybody about that?
Well, at the end of an episode, whoever's choice it is next time, you're gonna hear from that person, and they're gonna say, "Watch this," and then you can agree or disagree, so that by the next time we sit down and do this, and we're going to try like once a month or so.
I think.
it may be more in the summer because we'll have
Yeah,
more free time.
for sure.
But once a month or so, and you'll have about 3 weeks or so to watch the episode or the movie, and you can follow the bouncing ball with us, so to speak.
Yes. So the next movie I think we're going to do is Crimes of the Future. It is on Hulu streaming, so if you're a Hulu subscriber, it is there. It's a David Cronenberg movie, and it's been on both of our lists, and it's going to give us a chance to start getting down through our movie list. So check out Crimes of the Future. That will be the next one we talk about on this show. Not sure what kind of kid potential is going to be in that one. No idea. We'll see. But yeah, Willy's Wonderland. Check it out. A- from both of us. And
Yeah.
this was fun. I like this. And I think what we're going to do also is we're going to paint more while we talk about the movie and kind of work on stuff or show what we're talking about and get sound kind of worked out a little better on my end. So I can do that. So I don't have to use the Model Club TV mic, but we'll see you next time on A Movie and a Model. Is that the title we're going with?
Yeah, why not?
And the people sick of the background for Model Club TV, we'll have a new background every episode. And a title. This one doesn't have one. We'll figure it out. This show's jank. It's always going to be jank. And that's why we like it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time.